Walk us through how you see the implications here directly for oil markets, because of course the oil markets have a direct impact on everything that happens here in the GCC countries, UAE, and of course Saudi Arabia in particular. And that comment from the IMF that we saw just a couple of days ago causing some discomfort, I would say, amongst people here on the ground.
Most certainly. So we've obviously seen oil prices fall about, let's say, $10 a barrel for Brent since the outbreak of coronavirus. We did see, obviously, a peaking of oil price around $70, but that was to do with tensions with Iran. So let's say $10 down. That's a major problem in the region, OK? Because as we know, the governments here rely on oil and gas for the majority, 80% of their revenues. So when oil prices fall, that means less revenue, that means more fiscal pressure. So this is one of the ways, obviously, that coronavirus impacts the world just beyond what's going on in mainland China.
So would you expect a policy response to be really pushed hard by the Saudis as a result of the impact that this is having on the economy?
Well, absolutely. As we know, that they are desperately trying to grow their economy, so faster than it was. So if you look at 2019 numbers, you see a pickup in growth throughout the year because of funds that are being used by their sovereign wealth fund to invest. And this is a major problem for them because we have, deficits around about 6% of GDP and a desperate desire for growth. So for them, making sure the oil price stays high is just critical to making sure their fiscal situation remains sound, acceptable among investors, and for just bringing more money to spend. I mean, they know they've been through a period of austerity and they need growth. And this is really the last thing they need.
More broadly, Christopher, what do you expect the impact of the coronavirus to be on the global growth scenario? You suggest that it could wipe 1 to 1.5 percentage points off of Chinese GDP. So what's going to be the ripple-through effect to the broader global economy?
Well, very simplistically, if China accounts for about 16% of the global economy, then last year it counted for about 1%, I'd say 30% of global growth. So if you just do the math simplistically, then if it just affects China, then you could be talking 20 basis points off global growth for the year, which it currently is estimated around about 3%. But of course, that doesn't take into account the ripple effects, as you say, across the world. It's not just in, China's manufacturing shuts down in certain parts, let's say electronics or car manufacturing. That, of course, means that production stops in other parts of the world, in Europe and in America. So you could see double that impact. Of course, it all depends on the global economy, that is. It all depends on how long the situation continues as it is. I mean, we all hope that the number of new cases has peaked and starts to come down. But I think even as things are, then obviously you're talking 20 basis points at least of global growth. But as I said, in China, you're talking 1%, so you're saying coming down from 6% to 5%. That is the lowest growth rates we've actually had in China for 30 years. And it comes at a very difficult time for President Xi, when you've already got low growth. So it's a major challenge for him domestically.